This is the panoramic view of Brussels. We will show you how we can read the urban fabric of the city and its development by careful observation of all the details on a traditional Brussels house. There are many details to be observed, but for the purpose of this video, we have decided to choose and explore 5 different details in Brussels houses. Detail number 1, clean your shoes. Back in the days, streets of Brussels were not paved or asphalted. They were just full of mud, horses running around and carriages. They have decided to, why not installing this little steel bar in front of the house? So in order to enter the house and keep it clean, you kind of just scrap the mud from the shoes and then enter the house. Everyone is happy and the house stays clean.
The function of this little detail indicates indirectly the first and the foremost framework of Brussels' urban image, the rainy weather. Let's observe some house details and see how cloudy days were the shaping force for the Brussels urban fabric.
This element, of course, reflects the grey, rainy weather in Belgium. Meanwhile, people stayed optimistic. That's why they decided to enlarge and build big windows, high ceiling as well, in order to get as much as sun and natural light inside their houses, in order to get a hygienic indoor space.
Taller windows meant taller ceilings, in other words, taller buildings. Therefore, small building plot typical for the urban fabric started to vertically expand by preserving the traditional number of floors. The authorities have decided to regulate this informal vertical growth by regulating the root cause, and next to the property-based tax, a tax for windows and doors was respectively added. Optimal housing investment meant narrow building plot with tall light-catching windows. This principle, in fact, drove the urban planning of Brussels. These circumstances, in combination with the flexible and stable features of the uprising steel structures, gave excellent potential for more illuminated housing interiors. This was the moment of Art Nouveau to shine, and with that, the everyday architecture became more visible.
During the rise of the Art Nouveau movement in Brussels, architects gained a lot of respect. So they started to be hired by elite bourgeois people to build their dream house, castle, these old fancy, nice architecture. Meanwhile, architects as a profession start to be recognized among the public. That's why nowadays you see a lot of houses in Brussels which having the architect name carved on the front facade. The fact that the urban fabric of Brussels was divided to tiny plots gave the opportunity to wide range of architects to practice their profession. Therefore, there were architects with experience and architects without experience, young, stagiaire, and etc.
This trend have encouraged architects to compete and imagine customized solutions and details for different type of clients and budgets.
For example, we have found one of the most sophisticated details, the mailbox. Usually, it can be found at the main door, but in this case, we have found it under the living room window. This reflects the owner's building and their social status. So you can imagine the lawyers, politicians, notaries, smoking their pipes, sitting in front of the chimney and reading nicely their mailbox. And we are heading to densification. More and more people are coming to settle in the city. As we know, most of the houses were built for one single family. And nowadays, they are getting divided more and more and more. We can spot it easily on the main entrance of the houses by seeing random ring bells like here popping up separately.
The division of the single-family houses into multi-family buildings is a direct reflection of the last economical and socio-political urban context, and it's super interesting how it can be directly read by these little tiny devices. As you have seen in this video, we've managed to briefly summarize 300 years of urban development by carefully looking into the details of the houses. Finally, a very important conclusion that we would like to extract from this brief observation. As you can see on the illustration, any modification of the urban fabric on a macro level will have some sort of an impact over the micro image of the urban fabric. But the question for you is, can we change the global image of the city by little adjustments of the details of the urban fabric. Thank you very much for staying with us at this episode as well. Hope you liked it. Feel free to share, comment and subscribe, and see you in the next episode and dare to read your city through the details of the houses.